Hey, Jawad, is that you?
Yeah.
You and me.
Good morning.
Oh, good. One more person joined. Oh, good. Kevin's here. Hey, Kevin.
Hi.
Hi. I'm still trying to figure out from John Stewie, who runs the server group, if you can go on next Wednesday. But I haven't heard back. He definitely has a spot for you in August,
Okay, good.
but I haven't been able to because you're ready. So I'd like to get yours check marked with John, and then Helia's will be in August because she's going to present to the team on the 25th first. That's next Friday. But you're one ahead of that. But maybe I need to bug John today. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be great if you can. And it's just a 5-minute introduction about why this
Yeah, why it's
contribution
important.
is
Yeah, why it's
important. Okay.
important what the contribution does. Because the group of people at that meeting are, they're not the devil in the details guys. It's really a high level
They're
what this
super high
means to
level.
the community. Yeah.
Yeah, they run the whole server project, which is immense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I would be happy to do that if they can have me next week. It's 8 a.m. you said Pacific, I believe.
It's 8
So
a.m. Yeah, let me
I'll
see.
already put it on my calendar just in case, so I don't have another meeting.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me find John's email. Um,
Great. I appreciate it. I sent you an email earlier about
yes, I saw
Shahab's
that.
submission that was to the Future Tech instead of yours. So just FYI.
Yeah. I think so. I guess rightfully it gets rejected from
Hmm.
FTS. I actually had a chat with Janae yesterday, and I told her the story, and I said, "Look, at least forward the abstracts to me. I know you're going to reject it, but I'm going to finagle them into what we have, um, because we already have talks on similar topics. So we just add Shahab to it. But I
Sounds great.
haven't heard anything from her yet, so I don't know. I don't know what the contents of the abstracts are."
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Wow, it looks like a really thin crowd today. I was hoping to do updates first from teams that didn't do updates, and the people who did updates are already here. Kevin's got his update, and Itai's team, Rob did his update last week, and David did his update. Um, I was hoping for Patricia said she would come in today, so maybe she's just a little late, but she's going to do an update, and I honestly don't know who else um, is going to show up today. Sorry. Okay. So Quinn, now that you're on the call, um, I've barely been able to get a hold of Shahab. He did message me saying with the new job, I'm going to actually look at his message as we speak. He did say that he's really busy and he's going to try to, in a few days, try to get some more time for the OCP. So I think when it's unfair to put you in a position of not knowing exactly how this is going to be planned and then getting all the permissions from the folks at CMU. So I feel like, I don't know what you and Kevin think, but I think we shouldn't try to pencil this down for next month because it's impossible to get any anything done at this rate.
I think that's probably true. I think even if we went full speed, it'd be hard to get it pulled off.
Yeah. So then the next choice is, of course, the global summit between August and I don't know what there is in September, but maybe global summit is the best time to have it. In which case, it's at an OCP venue. It's an OCP event, so we should be able to host it. The problem is that the way I look the calendar, it's pretty tight. It starts even early on Monday afternoon and goes all the way till Thursday evening. The suggestion was to try to have it on a Friday. I just don't know how many people will be there. I know all the people who are local will probably stay because they can actually maybe drive if there's not too much traffic. But I think everyone who's traveling from out of town will probably be gone by Thursday evening. But I'm gonna have to let Shahab figure this one out. It's just been delayed enough number of times, but ideally we'd like to get it done before Global Summit. But first things first, I think let's not try to plan for the August. I apologize, Quinn, for putting you in that situation again.
Yeah, we're sorry. That's
Yeah,
very
It happens, I understand. Volunteer organizations are volunteer organizations.
Yeah, and Shahab's going through
Exactly.
some transitions with getting in, I guess, joining forces with AMD now and figuring out all the nuances that ginormous companies probably have, which he didn't experience um, on a smaller front. So we'll see how that pans out. But let's try. Okay, so Cliff is here. Maybe we can run this by Cliff. Hey, Cliff.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, thanks for joining. So, we've been trying to plan this Die to Die workshop, the one that Shahab hosted, I think twice successfully. Unfortunately, Shahab's been a little tied up given all the acquisitions and, getting into a new company and figuring out the nuances of the work and the culture there. We've tried twice to organize it, thanks to Quinn, who's both times helped us get permission from CMU to host it at their local site. But both times we have failed him in terms of not being able to plan sufficiently in advance and have him able to confirm to him that yes, indeed, we will all show up on this day at this time, and these 50 people are registered and we're going to have these talks. So that none of that has happened, to be honest. So we're going to cancel for what we were hoping to do in August, right after FMS, at CMU at Ames, at the NASA Ames. And we're now thinking the next one is the Global Summit. Ideally, we would like to do it before the Global Summit, a comparison of this, but I'm not able to corral the forces to be able to pull this thing together. Do you think at the Global Summit there's any chance? I know it's such a packed schedule. Kevin suggested trying to do it on a Friday after the summit. I just don't know how many people would still be there. Maybe the local folks would, but from the OCP point of view, what do you suggest? Or just make this whole thing some kind of a virtual and no in person, and that solves the problem of timing.
Yeah, I know Friday we don't have the conference center anymore.
There you go. Yeah.
So that won't be something that we could help with for the conference center. And it's also the move out day. So, and most of the OCP staff are leaving Friday morning. So I don't think that's a great option if you want support from OCP. I think if you want to try again for a physical, September would be a good opportunity, mid-September. What was the obstacles, if I may ask, from doing it? Was just not availability of people. You couldn't get enough critical mass together?
No, I think it was just we didn't try to even get a critical mass. I think we didn't even get to the point of saying we're going to reach out to these 15 people and see if they're interested in looking at our white paper and then putting together a presentation in terms of how the white paper asks them to define figures of merit,
Okay.
and share that at this public forum. That's what I feel, Kevin. You may have a different view.
Yeah, we picked some target dates back in like early June, and Shahab's organizing this, and he just hasn't had time to even publish call for papers or anything. So we haven't really started
Okay.
planning it, to be honest.
I think what it means is
off
that
in
you
the
need a
future.
different volunteer to help out if you're going to make it happen for September, right?
Yeah,
I
I think
you
so.
may
I
be
think we
right.
need to ask him what he thinks, can be done. So
Okay. Well, it's up to the community. I mean, support, we can provide support if you want to do something virtual, as we did for the AISI one that we just
Yeah.
did. So that kind of support is available. I can take it to the event team and see if there's some bandwidth to help organizing it. Unfortunately, my dance card is full for the year, so I can't commit to any more help with organizing events. But let me see if I can get some help. I have a new hire starting on July 28th, but I don't know that I can drop him into this uh, right
Oh
away.
no, we'll take good care of him. Don't worry, just drop him in.
I love your attitude. Um, so does the community want to consider something still physical in mid-September?
That's a great question. I sometimes feel that the virtual works quite well. I know there's a lot of local people there who, for them, getting together physically is a great idea. And if I had lived in the Bay Area, I would say yes, but I'm okay with it being virtual, but that's because I don't actually live there.
Right. And so
I
I guess,
agree.
go ahead.
I agree. We had talked about being physical or virtual. I think either way works. So
One crazy idea, Cliff. Would it make sense for it to be virtual where it's available in other geography conveniently as a live cast, such as Taiwan,
Right, but are you suggesting, Jawad, we try to do it at a time that's friendly to Taiwan where they could join?
which actually happens to be 8 a.m. in the morning here, right? It's actually pretty convenient in Taiwan, in my opinion.
Okay, and which is when we usually do it, no?
It's just that Friday night might be tough there.
All right, but you don't have to do it on a Friday. You could do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
We can get some virtual audience from there, right? Or we can promote that next week.
We could actually, we could promote it in 2 weeks. Don't drive me crazy, but in 2 weeks, yes. We can promote it in 2 weeks, and we can also advertise it to our mailing list for APAC, which we have now, and we'll be able to expand that with the people that attend APAC Summit. So I think, could get a much wider audience if we do it virtually now. And, part of the reason Jawad and I are going to be in Taiwan for hosting the Open Chiplet Economy Day there, really it's a whole day of breakout sessions, and we're meeting with MediaTek and a couple of the other large Taiwanese players. Um, Maybe there's something said now to going more virtual. Also, given the fact that in October it's going to not be virtual, you're going to be on site. So uh, maybe virtual is a good strategy.
Okay, it's something to think about. I'm hoping that when Shahab tells me in a few days he'll have more time, that really is going to transpire, and so I'm going to try and set up a call with him next week and and just try to understand, because I know he's got bursts of time when he can work with us, and then it goes downhill after that. So I want to understand from him exactly what his calendar looks like, so we're not signing him up for too much.
Right, and maybe it's time to add a co-lead there, if there's someone that could
Yeah,
work with
we
him.
need some traction in that group. There's a lot of interest in the optical. And Shahab's been, advertising for asking for help for a bit. In fact, the short reach optical interconnect guys, Bobby, reached out to me. They're writing a white paper and they'd like some contribution from us in the Bow Optical. So I connected him to Shahab, saying, "Here's our lead." But I think we're spread too thin. We do need to look for someone who's willing to help on that front and work with Shahab's crazy calendar to help us go forward. That would be really useful. So if anyone
I
can,
think we're conflating two things here. So the Tuesday 9:30 meeting is the eye-to-eye phi metrics, which resulted in a white paper.
That's right.
And that, rarely meets anymore. I mean, it's not actively working on another contribution. The Bow Optical is part of the Bow Phi group, which meets on Wednesdays. And I agree, that is really an important area that hopefully we could find a co-contributor on that part of it. But I don't think we need another lead for the
No.
Phi metrics part that we were talking
Yeah,
about a workshop for.
yeah. So Kevin's right. I am conflating two different things. Thanks for setting me straight.
Oh, no.
The original conversation was about the D2D phi metrics, which Shahab is the only lead. But that work is at its towards the end. On all we want to do at this point is share it with the community and get their agreement on, yes, this is how you present your phi in order to get an apples to apples comparison between all the million different types of die-to-die phis that exist today. So that's one piece. The second piece is that Shahab is part of this team, which is the Bow Phi team, which is trying to get the three pieces of the spec, the memory, the flexi, and the optical done. But Kevin, even on the optical, I think Shahab could use some help. I'm not going to say a co-lead or call anything like that, but someone who's actively able to help him in real time is
Yes, I would agree.
yeah, yeah. I just saw Bobby actually joined in. Bobby, yours must be burning. I was just talking about you sending me the request for the optical bow stuff.
Oh, thanks for bringing that up. I'm sorry I'm joining late.
Oh,
Yeah,
not a problem.
I'm in the Shortreach working group, and we're working on a white paper. So the white paper is mainly focusing on the scale up network, and that's why when we outlined the paper, we were thinking about, can we integrate many other work inside the OCP altogether. So that's why I'm reaching out because I saw the optical BOW, and that might be a good ideas that we should integrate and into a place so people can have a quick place to refer it to.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm working on that with you. Shahab's been going through some transitions. His company got acquired by AMD, and so he's trying to figure out the new workforce. So we'll have something back to you sooner than later.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I think the thing is it can be just as simple as the idea of how BOW optical BOWs, the maybe some simple spec or the progress so far, and then including the idea the contact information of your work group. I think that's should be sufficient enough. Hopefully don't take a lot of time from you guys.
Yep, sounds reasonable. Okay, so circling back to the original topic, Cliff, virtual may be the way to go for the die-to-die phi metrics. Shahab's always been the lead on these And so I'm just afraid if he says he just doesn't have the bandwidth, we're going to have to figure out someone else to help.
Okay, very good. Well, just let me know and I can see what resources I can bring to also help.
Okay, so I hope to have some conversations, candid conversations with him next week as to his bandwidth and how he can help us, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the next item on my agenda was an update. I think today we've got Patricia is going to provide an update from her work stream. And then the next item after that was to Itai to share some of the work he's doing connecting the work streams efforts together. So so far we've sort of had siloed work streams, and the idea is obviously for a system to work, each of these pieces need to talk to each other in an elegant fashion, and that's what Itai is trying to uh, put together the requirements at a high level. So we'll hopefully be able to get to that after Patricia's. Is there anything else, Cliff, that you'd like to talk about before we move on?
I don't know. I don't think so, Anu. Just to let you know, I think all the breakout session notices have gone out, or they will go out. They have gone out, or they will go out by today. And we'll be making the choices for the Innovation Village next week. I'm assuming, I know that we did get one proposal for the open chiplet economy in.
For Innovation Village?
Yeah,
I think so. Javad's been looking at that a little bit more than me. So,
So, Daniel, so sorry, where are you going to put the wall here? This is up.
Rajesh, I don't know if
Because
you're
I think
talking to us.
Okay, I muted him. So,
Yeah, thanks, Javad.
yeah, so I need to get back to you on that. Because I was trying to do something that we did last year, which is to individually reach out to folks. I mean, we can put up one of the tables with open chiplet economy. Just have some video. That could be one option, Cliff. But I'll need to get back to you on exactly how many submissions did we get.
okay. Just so you're aware, the submission window is kind of closed. However, we can still accept something. And we're meeting, I think, on Tuesday to make our decision. So if we don't have anything from you, not much for us to decide on, right?
Sounds good.
So please let us.
So Cliff, sorry, this is Kevin. I'm a little confused. So a while ago, there was a request for people who might be interested in participating in the Innovation Village to talk to Anu and Jawad. So I think that's what Jawad was talking about. He's collecting inputs from different people that are interested in participating. But I think separate from that, you're saying that there needs to be a submission from them to the OCP Global Summit to reserve the space. Are those two separate things?
That's exactly right. Well, they're related because
Related,
what I
yes.
was expecting was that Anu and Jawad would put in one consolidated proposal.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Anything else, Cliff?
No, sorry, glad I raised that because there's still time to impact if you want to.
Okay, will do. I'll talk to Javad and we'll do that. Yeah, it's been pretty hectic here. Okay, we're going to move to Patricia. Patricia, are you good with sharing an update on your work stream today?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me share my screen. Yeah, can you guys see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I guess with all the work that is, all the interesting work that is going on in all the other work streams, it seems that there is a lot of overlap, and I think that's great because there are a lot of common points of discussions. Um, uh, I've had interesting conversations with some members of the other work streams, so that's great. So I wanted to kind of get back to basics and see what is the HPC and AI chipless modularity work stream cares about, because I think we can benefit from the work from all the other places. So this is our big motivation. HPC performance does not increase anymore. And our question is, how do we get it back on track? Like with all the limitations we have today with the technology, how can we increase performance for HPC? And this is extremely important now when AI is taking over the systems. We know that chiplets already made the exascale possible. So our systems, our top systems, our top HPC systems in the world already use chiplets. So there is not necessarily there is not necessarily an innovation there. So basically what we are after is um, how do we use chiplets to make a specialization, get into our HPC clusters for scientific applications and also for AI that is now becoming the mainstream in scientific applications as well. So if you like, one of the interesting things is that any algorithm you look now, if you do a Google search, you're going to find that someone invented an specialized hardware accelerator that makes the computation go 100 to 1,000 times faster and consume a lot less energy. So, but the fear that we have to address here is how do we fight over specialization? Because we know that that's a killer. We know that algorithms evolve way faster than hardware, and things that might be the it today might not be the it tomorrow. So and that's what we care about, the modularity that chiplets offer. Then like just to get back to the point, how can we use chiplets to make a specialization, get into the HPC systems, HPC and AI systems. And that's why modularity is important for us. That's why we're in the modularity work stream, because that's the way that we think we can make this happen. Okay, so this is basically the question. So we started with the AI example, artificial intelligence example, because it was kind of a lower hanging fruit, where we started to say, okay, so what do we need from the chiplets marketplace to build specialized hardware for AI? And then we did profiling, we started to have our metrics of performance, and we started the discussions, we did evaluations, and we're writing right now with the members of the work stream. We're writing a paper, a white paper that is going to condense all the findings that we have done over this time. Now, the next thing is targeting some HPC applications. So we are doing some profiling for HPC applications. In this particular, we choose high energy physics, a high energy physics code that does particle tracking and CANEL. And this is work that was done mostly by George. So basically, George took the code and then ran some profiling tools to get information about how the code is performing in regular systems. So he got things like what were the dominant kernels, what is the memory that they need, and then Boone did CANEL, that is for simulated annealing. And then he also got interesting metrics such as how much usage are we getting out of the microarchitecture, the memory bound, where is the power consumption, and then some memory bandwidth information. So that's kind of what we have done this up to these days. And what I guess to say, what is it that we're doing now is we're of course writing the AI white paper, and of course we welcome feedback and we welcome contributors and people that can help us shape this to be something a little bit stronger. And the second thing is we're working on today is how does this profiling information that George and Boone obtained, how do we translate it to a hardware and software standard? And this is so we're trying to follow the same steps we did for the artificial intelligence, and see how an ideal future platform that could use chiplets would look like. We're taking the profiling information as a baseline. So we need a lot of help. We welcome people. If you're interested in this, please join us. It's Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Sorry, I made a mistake. 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we meet bi-weekly. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Patricia. Any questions for modularity, the workstream?
Hey, hi, this is Anshu. Patricia, what was sorry, I missed the second part, the new white paper that you talked about. Can you just briefly mention what's it about? I missed
Um,
that.
yes, I talked about two things about the profiling and the AI white paper. You're asking me about the artificial intelligence white paper?
Yeah, and then there was that the second effort, or is this a separate second effort?
Yeah, so I
Maybe,
guess, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
no, if I'm confusing, I can connect with you offline.
Okay, so I think yeah, as part of the work stream, we're trying we're trying to get we're trying to leverage modularity to work on specialization. So we started with artificial intelligence. And that's something that we did profiling, and then we came up with a couple of solutions. We tackled a lot of challenges that we were encountering while we were trying to figure out what would be the standard to use chiplets modularity for hardware specialized for artificial intelligence. And then now we're trying to write a white paper for that effort that is focused on artificial intelligence. So that's one thing that we're trying to kind of close and finish soon. The second effort that we have is on doing exactly the same that we did for artificial intelligence, but now using an HPC application. And we did so that's the part where at this moment, at that second effort, we are on the profiling stage, where we get some data of the application running in normal hardware. And now the question we're trying to see is how can we repeat the exercise that we did with AI and get kind of the same idea of how would we use chipless modularity for these applications, for these high performance computing applications. So those are two different efforts, but somehow the second one is trying to follow the first one in a way. I don't know if that answered the question.
Okay, yeah, thanks for the explanation. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Anshu. Thanks, Patricia. I appreciate that update. So far, I think we've had updates from the CDX group, the system group, the BOFI, at least the memory portion, which is really the one that's moving forward quite nicely right now. The modularity group. Helia is going to present the 1 point. I should not mess these numbers up. I already did and made everyone nuts. The 1.2 version of the link layer spec, which keeps the main band the same but adds the control path spec and the sideband to it. She's going to present that to the team next week on the 25th, after which she will then present to the server committee in order to on its path for approval as a spec release. So we've got we've got updates from all of these teams. There are a few teams where I'll ping the leads separately. Metrics, Shahab's just been too busy, and we're towards the end of that work anyway. So I think we're close. Test and proof of concept, I think we need to figure out where they are. I know there's a white paper being worked on in the test group, but I need to probably reconnect with those folks, Jawad and I, to try to figure out where things are. But as of now, this is where things are moving along in the work streams. If there are no more questions from the work streams, then I'm going to move to let Itai take over and describe a little bit about what he's trying to do, connecting the work of the different work streams in a cohesive guideline, standard, spec, or whatever we'd like to call it eventually. Thanks, Itai.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. So yes, as Anu said, our charter is to drive the multi-vendor ecosystems. And one of the things we're trying to do is come up with a clear table which says if two chiplets can interconnect with each other. So this is the activity we are progressing with on several channels, but this is one of them. So if someone wants to look at our webpage, so you can find under the working documents this Excel table, which you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is an Excel table that is it's work on progress. And we define the parameters for each layer of the chiplet. So this is how it look like. And what I wanted to show is some progress we did with the file layer. So again, this is the topic we have at the moment. Okay, the system parameters, the bow file, the link layer, package, testing, security, and power. And if someone thinks that we need to address another topic, let us know. So for a little bit deep dive into the bow file alignment that we are doing at the moment. So these are the parameters we identified so far. So first is the file type, which can be either UCIe or bow. So this table is for the bow. The package, whether it's standard, advanced, or 3D. Meta layer, slices relative to the link layer, bump map, bump match, bump pitch, which I'll show. This is the most this topic creates most of the arguments, but I'll show what we have so far. So the bump pitch, oh sorry, the bump pitch, the sideband, the channel reach, data rate, and the IO voltage. So okay, so for the bump pitch, what we're doing at the moment, we are dividing into three according to package type. Okay, so we have the standard, the advanced, and 3D. And what we have first is the bump size. So this is the ranges that we recommend. Okay, for the standard, 19 to 150. For advanced, 20 to 55, and 3D 5 to 50. And this is a sweet spot that we're trying to define. So the target here is to answer a question. If I'm developing a file at the moment, what is the most common values that I can use? So so this is what we defined so far. So we actually gave these values as the parameters. We're still debating on for the 3D, but these are the values. Any questions? Any comments? Okay, so so I think this is one of the most basic parameters, and so far we haven't seen any clear recommendations. So if it's once we approve it, this will be our official recommendation. And next parameter, again, it's defined in the bow phi, it's the data rate. So these are the options which are available. And that's it. Any questions, comments?
So one question I have is, Itai,
Yeah.
this is specifically looking at the bow phi. I know that when we get to the link layer, we're going to, before the Global Summit, make a release of what's a universal link layers independent of the actual phi. So then, do you think we need to expand this to cover more than just the bow phi? I know that gets a little messier and more complex, but just thinking aloud.
Yes, so we have, for the link layer, we also have initial parameters. So yes, this activity should cover also the link layer. This is what we got so far, but this is before that. This is just from reading the specification. It's before talking with the team. So this is something we will do.
Right. I wasn't actually talking just about the next level. I was talking about a different phi, actually. Like, we've been looking at the bow phi specifically. In terms of the bump pitch, I think those parameters say somewhat uniform between the type of phi used, whether it's bow or UCIe. To just name two phis as a reference for comparison, because those parameters like bump pitch and diameter are based on the technology, not so much the actual phi, I think.
Okay, now I understand your question. So yes, first I agree. We should, wherever we can define parameters which are common to all the phi, or the bow and the UCIe. Yeah, that's I think it's a good target.
Yeah, because I think it becomes then more universally used, because the UCIe phi is going to be used in a number of applications where it makes sense to be used. And if we're trying to enable a more open economy, then it probably is important to cover that too. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So yes, I agree, and I think it's important. At the moment when we started the activity, we said, okay, let's start with the phi tab, which is bow, which is the bow, because this is the easiest way for option for us. But yes, we should do it also for the UCIe.
Yeah, makes sense. Anyone have any feedback for the work that Ita is pursuing, or ideas? You can always reach out later. It doesn't have to be right now.
Yes.
Okay. I think then thank you, Itai. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks.
So next Friday, link layer is going to be presented. The control path spec, which is an extension of the main band spec, which is already a released 1.0 spec, is going to be presented by Helia and Brian from the link layer. So they're not going to do a Workstream upgrade because they're going to do a more detailed presentation next Friday, and I'll send the agenda out for that. Any other questions? Cliff and Jawad are going to be on their way to Taiwan next week, I think. So good luck for that summit, guys. If no other questions or action items, we can close early. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.